All right. Well, I'm back home anyhow. Lots of things happened along the way. Ran into a few problems. New hat, by the way. Got this. It was waiting for me. I ordered it, of course, on Amazon like everyone else, but it's hard to find the real deal fitted hat. More difficult than you would think. I ordered one of these is made by New Era anyhow, and it had elastic here. Back when I was in high school, I always had fitted hats. So when I ordered it, I was figuring it was a fitted hat. I got it as elastic. It fit well. Unfortunately, the elastic wears out pretty quick. Quicker than my hats do, as you can tell. I got this one. I've had it for many, many years, and I love it. But it was time to get a new one anyhow. And so, hang on one second here. I'm going to be right back. I'll show you my other one that's even older. Good times, good times. Here's my other one. Here's my older one. Here's my older one. Ball on top's worn out. The back's got a few holes in it. This one was fitted also. This one was made by the franchise. It was an awesome hat. Love it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. But it was worn out, so then I got this one. And I figured this one's probably got 5 years on this one. And this one's probably 10 years old. So I got me a new one. And it's pretty awesome, you know. Still need some breaking in. I can't stand that flat bill crap. Damn kids. Gotta put that Hoosier bend in it, you know what I mean? Coming from the Midwest like I am. Gotta have that Hoosier bend. It's nicer anyways, you know, because when you're driving, a lot of times, the sun's on your left. It keeps that sun out of your eyes on both sides, you know, just depending on wherever you are. But that's what that is anyhow. So, new hat waiting for me. It'll be nice when it gets broken in, like them over there. But whatever, finally found it. Apparently it's a certain version. It's the 59, New Era 5950 will give you the true fitted hat. No elastic, no bullcrap, the real deal. You got to get the 5950. And that's the number 59 and then spelled out 50, F-I-F-T-Y. So if you're looking for a great MLB original fitted hat, that's the one you got to get. So back anyways, had issues on the road. The fuel tank ended up being okay. I did something dumb, naturally. I wasn't thinking about it. And I don't know if this had anything to do with anything, but it may have. But I ended up cigarette, not weed. I don't know which is worse for you, but whatever. So I filled up the gas tank, the fuel tank. I spent some time with the girl in Georgia, met up with her, and didn't do any videos or anything like that. I'm just not comfortable doing that kind of stuff yet anyway, so I'll let that be what it is. Had a decent time anyways. And so got on the road, made it about 150 miles. When I was filling up, I was like, well, I remember the last time I filled up and, you know, there was some, you smell the diesel inside the vehicle. So I did something that I thought might be a good idea. And so I closed the valve stem off of the tank so the fumes wouldn't escape. Well, there's an inlet and there's an outlet. And when I opened up the trunk, after I had problems, I bogged out going up a road. I noticed the tank was collapsed in. Like, it wasn't collapsed, but it was sucked in. Real, like the tops, the sides, everything was sucked in. So I didn't have the vent open. So it was created this giant vacuum. And I'm hoping that it didn't cause catastrophic damage. It did enough damage. Not really, but kind of. We'll see. basically the jury's still out. And so I smelled something burning in the back, and I was like, it was electrical. And if you know anything about what electronics smells like when it's burning, you know what it is. Electronics have just a certain smell, and it's, bad news. So pulled over as soon as I could, because I was like, man, I was like, man, is this me? I smell something burn, and is it me? And blah, blah, blah. Then it got so bad, at about 30 seconds, I was like, man, I got to get off the road, man. I cannot afford to have this thing go burn up in flames on me, So pulled off the side of the road, shut her down, went out back. Yeah, fucking something was smelling. Something was burning. Wasn't smelling too good. I think it came from the alternator. I'll swear up and down it was from the alternator. Anyways, all was well. Released the pressure. Got back in the vehicle to start it. Lights come on. Everything comes on. Go to crank it. Ain't cranking. No crank. It's raining. It's about 45 degrees out. And there I am. No cell service naturally. So we'll talk about that too. Either in this video or maybe in the next one. I don't know. I'll probably do it all in this one. So anyways, after about a half hour standing out in the rain, trying to walk around, because every once in a while I get a bar or two on my phone, I try and quick look up tow service, mechanic, whatever around me. And that just wasn't happening. So inevitably, I decided I'd walk. It wasn't too far to the next town. It was about a half a mile. The next town was one stoplight and a gas station, by the way. But the folks there were great news. Some old country man. Anyhow, nicest people down there, I'll tell you what. He was of African American descent. I don't know how politically correctly you can say that and whatever, but I'll just put it that way. But he was his old country bro. Love him to death, man. Nice guy. Said, I ain't gonna leave you on the side of the road, man. I'll give you a ride up to the next gas station, all that kind of good stuff. And we went back to his place right quick. He needed to pick up some jumper cables. I asked him if we could try and jump it off. So I wasn't sure. I wanted to know if that alternator was cooked. And so if we could jump it off, at least I could kind of help diagnose what was wrong with the vehicle. Thinking that alternator smoked, I'm running off the batteries. That's why now it doesn't have enough juice to crank over. I got power, but it ain't got enough juice to crank over. So I'm running off the batteries. The batteries are too low. If it can get jumped off. It doesn't get jumped off. It still doesn't crank. So, one, I know the alternator. I mean, I swear up and down it's got to be that alternator. I know where the smell was coming from. And the alternator's right there on top. You can't miss it. So, do all that. Doesn't crank. I'm dead in the water, pretty much. I mean, I'm dead in the water. I ain't even got cell service. I'm in the middle. So, anyways, the folks up at the gas station were kind enough to let me use their Google right quick. And I went a couple towns over. Anyhow, it looked like a bigger town called Tuskegee, Georgia. Tuskegee, Alabama. Apologize. Oh, by the way, riding through, what town was that? There's a border town. It was absolutely gorgeous. Eufaula? I think it was Eufaula, Georgia. Beautiful old town. Just unbelievable. And the deal is this. I didn't get any video of that. Hopefully things will change in the future. I'll be able to get more. But I'm kind of sorting through problems right now with the VW, and what better way to do it than, 1,000-mile, 1,200-mile road trip, right? So that's where that's at. But so we do Tuskegee, Georgia, the Google. I find a place. It's a mom and pop joint, which I which was looking for. I wanted real mechanics, basically, not someone who's only knows how to plug a computer into computer and have the computer tell it what is wrong with the car, because this thing ain't got no damn computers, or very few, if any. I don't even think it has any. But I need a real mechanic, someone who can, work through things and figure out what the problems really are and how to fix them without, just regurgitating information and saying this is wrong, that's wrong, blah, blah, blah. So did that. They came out, took about 2 hours. I'm cold. I'm wet. I just don't even know what I want to do. But anyhow, they're nice enough to, they come out, pick me up. Turns out the ignition switch got fried. So they changed out the ignition switch, and I was on the road. About the next day, got a hotel room. And I said it at the time, and I'll say it again. When I saw it, when it happened, after they fixed it, I was like, man, I know it's that alternator. Something ain't right with that alternator. Because I'm telling you, that's where it was smoked out at. But the alternator was charging the batteries just fine. So I was like, all right, the last thing I want to do, and I said this to him, I said, the last thing I want to do is get about 50 miles out and have something else, and have something else go down. Mark Ditz, that's me. Sometimes I'll do third person just because I think it's funny. But there I am, about 50 miles out. I made it to Montgomery, the east first exit to Montgomery, Alabama. And I was going to fill up with fuel because I'm going to go through a national park. I'm going to stay off the main interstate, and I'm going to go through the national park because I clearly don't learn my lessons. Hard-headed, yep. But that's what I was going to do. So I wanted to fill up my fuel tanks 100%. And so that if I'm traveling through, I don't have to worry about running out of fuel, Not that I think I'm going to, but better be safe than sorry, right? Go there, do that, fill up, get back in the car. No crank. It's about 5:30. They close at like 5. The mechanic shop I was at, a mom and pop joint, but they sent their drivers back out, picked me back up, took me back. They were nice enough. Again, second time. I'm telling you, people in that area go above and beyond and don't seem to care about anything else in the world. And it's fantastic. It was about 8, 9 o'clock at night by the time I finally got the van hooked up and brought back and dropped off at the mechanic shop, and then they rolled me over to another hotel. Stayed another night in and had some great Mexican food at a place called Acapulco's. It was fantastic. So I did that, and then the next day, which was Saturday, I gotta be back on Monday now. So my 2-week span has been chewed up to be on the side of the road or not have anywhere to go or anywhere. I mean, I got the camper van, so it's okay. But nowhere to go. And I just got to wait for the next day, next weekend, for things to start back up and all that kind of stuff. So they called me on Saturday because they are open a half day on Saturday. And the owner's son, anyhow, kind of runs the place, fixing to be the next to take over when that time comes. And he's probably he's a few years younger than me. Well, he's probably about 10 years younger than me, maybe 15 years younger than me. But great people. I'll try and remember what their name is because they're awesome. Just amazing people. So he calls me up and he says, well, the ignition switch didn't get fried again this time, but it seems like the alternator or the starter is done. Okay. I figured that, and I know what's coming next. I said, yeah, So obviously, you're not going to be able to. I don't feel the next words out of your mouth are going to be that you're going to be able to have a starter today. In the car ready for me to roll because I got about 36, 48 hours before I got to be at work, and I'm still 800 and something odd miles away from Dallas, barring anything else going wrong. So I said, I was thinking about it last night, and I think my options were all works out, all's well, and I'll just hard headed dude. I'm gonna keep chugging along, and or I'm just gonna leave the vehicle there, and I'm gonna have him fix everything. And basically, when he told me he wasn't gonna have the starter, I was like, okay, that's fine. I'd already started looking for airfare back anyhow. So hopped Groom. Groom is a shuttle service. I think it's national and or in multiple states anyways. This is a great service. I went an hour and 36 minutes east, the wrong doggone direction. So I need to be head west, but to Atlanta airport there and hopped bought a ticket and flew back to DFW here because I just wanted a day. And today is Sunday now, but I wanted a day where I could just be at home without having to worry about anything. But so I did that. But I was telling him, the thing is, I need real doggone mechanics, and it's just not that easy anymore. A lot of places, they don't want to work on your stuff because it's too old. I get it, kind of. The reality is it is older, but it's a lot more simple. And the problem that I'm coming to realize is, these technicians. I work for a car dealership. You know what I mean? And they don't want to work on the old stuff. Why? Because they don't know how to. They don't have a clue how mechanics work. I mean, I'm sure they do. A lot of them do. But at the end of the day, we rely so much on just technology telling us what is what. And, versus cognitive thought and, problem solving skills and creative solutions and, finding a workaround, thinking outside the box, getting it done, that type of thing. If you go to a dealer now or anywhere, it doesn't matter. They're going to plug up what they're going to plug up to the car, and it's going to shoot out a code. They're going to look the code up. They're going to say this, this, and this. And then you're going to say, okay, well, this is this, and I need this, this, and this part, and we'll replace these 2 parts or 3 parts or whatever parts it is. And there it is. You're fixed. And it's like, man, I mean, sad. It really is kind of sad, but that's the way it is now, I guess. But put into Yelp, I use Yelp a bit, when I want to find reputable people and what people experiences are. And so I went into Yelp and back here in St. Louis, I was trying to find a VW, someone who worked on VWs, and VW people are crazy and the mechanics are too. So a lot of them, that's all they'll work on. And I'm talking about the real mechanics, like the old schoolers, not the new stuff. But so I was looking for someone that was going to be able to do that. And pretty much I think it sent like requests out to like 5 different people, and they weren't able to. So these people are so fantastic. They're in Alabama that I said, you know what, these are real people, real mechanics, real problem solvers, all this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to leave my vehicle there. I said, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to have them order me a gas tank. I'm going to have them order me the starter, order me whatever needs to be done, get it done, see what else you find while I said, you can use it as a daily driver, for 4 or 5 days, 2 weeks, or whatever you need to do. But I want to make sure, that these issues can get worked out, and I trust them and their abilities and their know-how, and I'm more than happy to pay them, whatever, pretty much. I mean, not whatever, but I don't think it. I'd rather have it done right and fixed right by people that I trust better than someone who's just going to plug a computer up and doesn't really know, doesn't understand certain things, but someone with years of experience, decades of experience, and generations of experience for that matter. And so that's what I decided. I said, I'm not going to find a better mechanic here. It doesn't seem like, and even if I do, I still got to get it here, get it towed to the place, hope that they can do something. You know what? I found people. I trust them. I like them. I'm going to give them the business. You know what I mean? I know I'm 800 miles away, but I'm going to let them do it. And I promise you, it's going to be done. It's going to be done right. It might cost me whatever it's going to cost me. And it is what it is. But I bought the vehicle right. I'm not afraid of it going down in value. I bought it to cruise. I wanted to get it fixed. And that's what I'm doing. So here I am, back at home. Vehicle's there. Tomorrow's Monday. I go back to work. They're going to go back to work. I said there's a throwout. There's a bushing, I guess, that doesn't let it get into first gear very well. It's all worn out. The other mechanic, the first mechanic with the VW stuff all over, he had pointed that out. I was like, well, I mean, glaring. Just one of the first things when they put it on the route. Well, this is this and this is that. And I mean, bam. Good deal. I mean, he knew, what to look for, like right off the bat and what he spotted. And I said, okay. But they didn't have the parts or any of that stuff. But we didn't worry about that. But I did know that's the issue with why it's difficult to get in, shifting. So get them that take care of that. Sort through some of the other things, and I might just come up with stuff for them to do while they're at it, So now it's in Tuskegee, Alabama, which is great. I have to imagine that's the Tuskegee Airmen. I could be wrong, but I would have to think that has something to do with that. What else is there? The Commodore Museum, where Lionel Richie recorded something or other. One of his top hits is now they've got the Commodore Museum in the recording studio that they recorded their first album or something like that. And I didn't have a chance to stop by. I didn't. I had other things, unfortunately, that came up, and I wasn't able to get a slice of the Americana there. But I think it's really a lot of what I want to be doing. You know what I mean? Just traveling and who would think the Commodore Museum is in Tuskegee, Alabama, it's outside of Auburn and all this kind of stuff. But if you want to know where it's at, you can find it in between Auburn and in Montgomery. So just off the highway, a couple 20 miles, 10 miles, something like that. So, but who would know? Who would know that? If you're a diehard, Commodores fan, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? Or if you're a diehard, or not even a diehard, really, it's more common knowledge nowadays, Tuskegee Airmen's type of stuff, if that is what it is. And I can't prove that it is. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to really get into it. There's so many other things going on right now that I have to deal with. If you're not doing that, but yet you have the opportunity to just roll across it, stumble across it. How awesome is that? And so I think that's really what I want to do a lot more of. Just getting into the roots, you know what I mean? And getting into the back stuff that you don't see in America, It's not Miami. It's not going to this stupid nightclub or, I don't know. I'm just saying it ain't my thing. That kind of stuff ain't my thing. I like real people. And man, I'll tell you what, those people in South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, whoo, wow. They are just amazing people. And they just go out of their way to help complete freaking strangers, white, black, whatever. It don't matter. You know what I mean? Everybody's just, out there, and it is what it is, and everybody, it's amazing, you know, and you don't see that, especially in the cities. You know, people are pompous and nose uppity, and you know, they're just whatever. They're different. You know what I mean? And so I do like the people in the country a heck of a lot more. I just, you know, they're just whatever. So it's neat. But I think that's what I want to do more of. So I got to do 2 more weeks of work now, come tomorrow. And then by then, maybe we'll have the vehicle, you know, tidied up a bit, and you know, I'm gonna think about what else I want them to maybe do for me. I might have them a CB. I want to put a CB in it. Yep, for sure. CB is going in. CB is going in. You know, if I'm gonna be doing this backwoods stuff, and I'm not gonna have the cell service all the time, apparently, you know, a CB would be a great addition, and give me a lot of just peace of mind while I'm going in, you know, to some of the parks and national forests, and even just rolling in the backwoods of who knows where, you know, middle of nowhere. At least I don't have to rely on cell service. I can rely on, you know, I can, you know, have a backup anyways, you know. So that's going to be super exciting. But yeah, gas tank, the bushing for the shifter, and then I'll probably have them sort through some of the electrical system just to make sure and clean it up a little bit. We might go to St. Louis in 2 weeks. I might do that because I got a good friend of mine who does kitchen and bathroom remodeling. I've known for a long, long time, and he does fantastic work. I work for him for a couple of years, anyways, and we might. And he loves to build stuff, so this is right up his alley. He'll have a good time doing it. I'll have a good time doing it, and maybe we can check out some of St. Louis, which is like just a fantastic city, anyways, or town, depending on how you look at it. But visit some friends while I'm there. But that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we're going to roll up to St. Louis anyhow. If I have the vehicle back with enough time where I can have the 2 weeks. But then I think I'm thinking that we're going to maybe do some wiring on the VW. It might not be this time around. It might be next month if I don't have the time or the funds put together. Or the complete thought process of what I want to do. But it's got a propane tank on it. I want to get that sorted through, make sure it works. I want to get the water done. It's got a gray tank. I have to, obviously it's got a freshwater tank too. I don't know how all that's put together. I hadn't had time to get into it. So I need to do all that kind of research. I'm thinking putting solar on there. I definitely want to get a propane generator. Maybe a refrigerator. I don't know. We're going to look into that. But it'll be super exciting, you know, putting that together in the next 2 weeks while I'm at work, doing what I do at work. But just researching what direction I want to take the van in. But I'm thinking solar for sure. That way, if my batteries are ever dead, I've got some way to get them charged up. The more economical way of doing it for sure. So I got to do all that kind of research, and I don't know the pricing on that stuff. I know it ain't cheap, but if there's anyone that can help me wire it up and do all that kind of good stuff and get it set up the way we want to get it set up, it's my buddy up there in St. Louis, and he does carpentry also. So maybe we'll look at changing some of the. I don't think I want to change much of the cabinetry inside, but it's something that we could look at. You know, we got the time, we got the inclination. You know, might freshen it up a little bit. It's already been freshened up with the beautiful upholstery that the guy had put in it. But number one, mechanically sorted. See how bad that sets me back. So we might wait a month. before I continue to upgrade it. You know, I gotta figure out air conditioning if I want to do it, and how to do it. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm back home. Go back to work tomorrow. Cars in Tuskegee, Alabama, getting worked on by some fine folks who are going to take care of it, and you know they're going to drive it and make sure it's going to be, you know, good. You know, I think he drives probably 40 miles round trip each day. So I figure if he's driving it for a week or two, you know, any issues hopefully will surface any more than what we've already found. But I'm gonna have him, like I said, put the gas tank in there and all that kind of good stuff, and you know, I won't be, you know. So um, yeah, that's where we're at. Appreciate y'all coming along, and I'll try and do some updates as the week goes on, and as I kind of come to figure out what's going on with it, and hopefully the update won't be as long as this one, but I wanted to keep them a little bit shorter. But so much had happened in so short of a time period, but I didn't have time to really dig into it. That I wanted to give you all an update and let you know where we're at, because most importantly, my video camera I left in the van, and with it I left my other SID card, which has more footage on it. So I can't upload anything more for a little while. So at least from the trip that I was just on. So I'm kind of, spoiler alert, a little bit late. That's what's going on. And that's it. We'll talk to you all later on.